Okay, guys, the moment is finally here. This is it. This is my house.
Pay attention to the woman in the beige sundress standing in front of her new house, holding her phone up for a selfie. Her name is Claire Donovan. She's a 29-year-old travel blogger, celebrating what she calls her fresh start in a new city. Now, pay attention to the video she's about to upload to TikTok. In the background, you can see her house number, the distinctive brick pattern of her walkway, and the street sign at the corner. Within 72 hours, that video would lead someone directly to her front door. This was not content creation. It was an unintentional invitation to a predator. Welcome to Last Witness. Subscribe and hit the bell icon for more haunting crime stories that expose how modern technology connects us to both opportunity and danger. At 11:47 p.m. on June 14th, Claire Donovan's mother, Patricia, made the first of what would become dozens of frantic calls to her daughter's phone. Each call went straight to voicemail. Patricia had been following Claire's TikTok account religiously, watching her daughter document every moment of her 2-week European vacation and subsequent move to Austin, Texas. But when Claire failed to show up for their scheduled video call that evening, a call they'd maintained every Sunday for years, Patricia knew something was catastrophically wrong. By 1:30 a.m., she contacted the Austin Police Department. The dispatcher logged the details carefully. A 29-year-old woman recently moved to the city. No history of missed appointments with family. Last active on social media approximately 18 hours prior. To the responding officers, the circumstances suggested a potential wellness check rather than an emergency. Young adults sometimes lose track of time or forget commitments, but Patricia's insistence that this was completely out of character for her daughter elevated the priority of the response. What officers discovered when they arrived at Claire's address at 847 Maple Ridge Drive would transform a routine welfare check into one of the most disturbing cases in Austin's recent history. Claire Donovan had spent the previous 6 months building what she called her dream life online. After years working as a marketing coordinator in Chicago, she'd saved enough money to quit her job, travel through Europe, and relocate to Austin to pursue content creation full-time. Her TikTok account, which had grown to just over 180,000 followers, documented every step of her journey with the kind of intimate detail that made her audience feel like they were traveling alongside her. Her content was inspirational but relatable. She showed herself navigating foreign train stations, trying local cuisine, making mistakes with language barriers, and celebrating small victories. Her followers loved her authenticity, her self-deprecating humor, and her willingness to share both the highlight reel and the behind-the-scenes struggles of solo travel. She wasn't just selling a lifestyle, she was inviting people into her life. In late May, after completing her European adventure, Claire posted a video titled, "New House, New Life, New Chapter." The 47-second clip showed her pulling up to a charming craftsman-style home in what appeared to be a quiet, tree-lined neighborhood. The camera captured her walking up the front path, unlocking the door with exaggerated ceremony, and doing a small celebratory dance on the front porch. The video was endearing, joyful, and utterly unguarded. It was also a blueprint for anyone who wanted to find her. The video showed the full house number, 847, clearly visible on the mailbox. It captured the distinctive turquoise door, a color rare enough to be searchable. In one brief pan of the street, the sign for Maple Ridge Drive was partially visible in the background. Most critically, Claire had geotagged the video with Austin, Texas, and used hashtags like #AustinLiving, #NewHomeowner, and #TexasLife. She had essentially provided step-by-step directions to her front door. Claire's content strategy was built on transparency and connection. She believed that sharing her genuine experience would resonate with her audience more than carefully curated perfection. She posted videos showing her unpacking moving boxes, assembling furniture from IKEA, and exploring her new neighborhood. She documented her morning coffee routine on her back patio, giving clear views of her yard's layout and the privacy fence that separated her property from the alley behind it. She filmed room tours that showed her bedroom window overlooked the side yard, and that her home office was located at the front of the house with large bay windows. In one video, posted on June 3rd, Claire joked about her terrible sense of direction and showed herself using Google Maps to navigate back to her house after a run. The video inadvertently revealed the exact intersection she lived near and the specific route she took during her daily jogs. In another video, she showed off her new car, a white Honda CR-V with Texas plates, parked in her driveway. The license plate was partially visible. Her followers loved the content. Comments poured in, congratulating her on the new house, asking about her favorite Austin spots, and requesting more day-in-the-life videos. Among those thousands of engaged followers was someone who was paying attention to different details. Someone who wasn't interested in Claire's travel tips or home decor choices. Someone who was mapping, planning, and waiting. Detective Rachel Martinez was the first investigator assigned to Claire Donovan's case when the wellness check escalated to a criminal investigation. What she found at 847 Maple Ridge Drive on the morning of June 15th would haunt her for the remainder of her career. The front door was locked, the windows were secure. There were no obvious signs of forced entry visible from the exterior. When officers gained entry through the rear door, after receiving no response to repeated knocking and calling, they discovered a scene that contradicted the peaceful exterior. Claire Donovan was found in her bedroom. She had been deceased for approximately 12 to 16 hours, placing the time of death sometime in the late evening of June 14th. The medical examiner would later determine that she died from asphyxiation and blunt force trauma. The brutality of the attack suggested a level of rage and control that pointed to someone who had planned this encounter, not a random act of violence. The scene told a chilling story. Claire's phone was found smashed on the bedroom floor, its screen shattered beyond functionality. Her laptop had been violently destroyed, the hard drive removed. There were signs of a struggle concentrated in the bedroom and hallway, indicating she had fought desperately for her life. Defensive wounds on her hands and arms confirmed she had tried to protect herself. But what disturbed investigators most was the evidence of staging. The perpetrator had spent time at the scene after the attack, rearranging items, wiping down surfaces, and attempting to eliminate forensic evidence. Detective Martinez immediately began processing the scene for any indication of how the perpetrator had gained access to the home. The answer came when forensic technicians examined the back door that led from the alley into Claire's fenced yard. The lock showed signs of manipulation consistent with a bump key or lock-picking tool. The perpetrator had not smashed a window or kicked in a door. He had quietly, skillfully bypassed the lock and entered the home while Claire was likely upstairs, unaware of the danger now inside her house. Security camera footage from a neighbor's Ring doorbell 3 houses down captured a partial view of the alley behind Claire's property at 9:43 p.m. On June 14th, the camera recorded the silhouette of a figure moving toward Claire's back fence. The image quality was poor due to the distance and low lighting, but the figure appeared to be male, average height and build, wearing dark clothing and a baseball cap. He moved with purpose, not hesitation. At 11:52 p.m., approximately 2 hours later, the same camera captured what appeared to be the same figure, leaving the alley and heading toward a side street where the camera's range ended. The timeline was brutally clear. The perpetrator had entered Claire's property through the alley, bypassed her back door lock, and waited inside her home for nearly 30 minutes before confronting her. Claire had posted her final TikTok video at 9:15 p.m. that evening, a brief clip showing her evening skincare routine in her bathroom. In the background, visible through the open bedroom door, her bed was neatly made and her laptop sat open on the nightstand. She appeared relaxed, content, completely unaware that someone was likely already inside her house or about to be. Detective Martinez pulled Claire's entire digital footprint, working with TikTok's legal team to obtain access to her account data, follower lists, and direct messages. What they discovered opened a disturbing window into the dark side of social media fame. Claire had received hundreds of direct messages over the past 6 months. Most were benign, fans complimenting her content or asking for travel advice. But buried among the positive interactions were dozens of messages that had grown progressively more concerning. One account in particular stood out. The user, who went by the handle at Wanderer Mike 84, had been following Claire since early March. His initial comments on her posts were generic and supportive. But by late April, his messages had shifted in tone. He began commenting on Claire's physical appearance, her clothing choices, and specific details about her daily routine that suggested he was watching her content with obsessive attention. When Claire stopped responding to his direct messages, his comments became more aggressive. On May 18th, just days before Claire posted her new house, new life video, at Wanderer, Mike 84 sent a message that read, "You can't ignore me forever. I know you see these. I'm not like the other fake people in your comments. We're connected. You just don't realize it yet. Claire had blocked the account on May 20th, but blocking a single account does nothing to stop someone who is determined. Within hours, a new account, @MikeWanderlust, appeared in her followers list. Cybercrime analysts traced both accounts back to IP addresses originating from public locations throughout Austin. Coffee shops, libraries, a co-working space near downtown. The pattern suggested someone local, someone who understood how to avoid leaving a clear digital trail by never using the same location twice. The accounts had been created using burner email addresses routed through VPN services designed to mask the user's true location and identity. Investigators cross-referenced the timestamps of when, at Wanderer, Mike84's messages were sent with Claire's posted content. They found a disturbing correlation. Within minutes of Claire posting any new video, the account would view it and often leave a comment. He was actively monitoring her feed, waiting for new content. When Claire posted her house tour video on June 1st, at Wanderer, Mike84 commented, "Beautiful place, looks like a safe neighborhood. You're living the dream." The comment seemed innocuous to casual observers, but to investigators, it read like confirmation that he was already planning his next move. The breakthrough in the case came not from advanced forensics or digital tracing, but from a detail Claire herself had inadvertently provided. In her new house, new life video, the camera briefly captured a reflection in her front window. Paused and enhanced, the reflection showed a vehicle parked across the street, a dark-colored sedan. Investigators canvassed the neighborhood, asking residents about unfamiliar vehicles in the area during the days surrounding Claire's move-in and the weeks that followed. A neighbor 4 houses down remembered seeing a dark blue Honda Accord parked on the street intermittently over the past 2 weeks. The car stood out because it would appear in the late evening and remain parked for hours, often until after midnight. The neighbor had assumed it belonged to a visitor staying with someone on the block. But when shown a timeline of Claire's TikTok posts, the neighbor confirmed the car had been present on the same evenings Claire posted videos showing her at home. Traffic cameras near the neighborhood's main entrance captured a partial license plate on a dark blue Honda Accord entering the area on June 10th, June 12th, and June 14th, the night Claire was killed. The partial plate led investigators to a registered owner, a 37-year-old unemployed former IT technician living in a studio apartment in South Austin. Pruitt's background revealed a man whose life had unraveled over the past 3 years. He had been fired from a software company in 2022 for inappropriate conduct involving a female colleague, behavior that included unsolicited messages and showing up at her gym uninvited. He had no prior arrests, but his digital footprint painted the picture of someone increasingly isolated, resentful, and obsessed with women he encountered online. His social media accounts, recovered during the investigation, showed a pattern of fixating on female content creators, leaving persistent comments and becoming hostile when ignored. On June 16th, 2 days after Claire's body was discovered, federal agents and Austin police executed a search warrant on Pruitt's apartment. He was not home. Inside, investigators found a meticulously organized collection of evidence that confirmed their worst suspicions. Pruitt had printed screenshots of Claire's TikTok videos and arranged them on his wall in chronological order. He used Zillow to identify her exact address based on the house number, street sign, and distinctive features visible in her videos. He created a detailed timeline of her daily routine based on timestamps of her posts and the content she shared. Most disturbingly, investigators found handwritten notes detailing his plan to enter her home. He had researched lock-picking techniques, watched YouTube tutorials, and practiced on similar locks he'd purchased online. He had studied the layout of her house based on her room tour videos, identifying entry points and the location of her bedroom. He had planned every step with chilling precision. Michael Pruitt was apprehended 36 hours later at a motel in San Antonio, approximately 80 miles from Austin. He had checked in under a false name using cash, but surveillance footage from the motel's parking lot showed his Honda Accord. When confronted by law enforcement, Pruitt initially denied involvement, but forensic evidence recovered from his apartment and vehicle told a different story. DNA evidence collected from Claire's home matched Pruitt's profile. Fibers from clothing found in his apartment matched fibers recovered from Claire's bedroom. Analysis of his phone's location data, despite his attempts to disable tracking features, placed him in Claire's neighborhood on multiple occasions in the weeks leading up to her death and definitively placed him at her address on the night of June 14th. During interrogation, Pruitt's facade crumbled. He admitted to following Claire's content obsessively for months. He claimed he felt a connection to her, that she was speaking directly to him through her videos. When she blocked his accounts, he felt rejected and disrespected. He admitted to using her posted content to locate her home. He confessed to surveilling her neighborhood, learning her patterns, and waiting for the right moment to act, but he refused to provide details about what happened inside Claire's home that night. He wouldn't explain why he chose violence, what he intended when he entered her house, or what triggered the brutal attack that ended her life. That truth died with Claire, leaving investigators with facts but no satisfying answers about motive beyond obsession that turned deadly. The digital evidence painted a portrait of premeditation. Pruitt had studied Claire's life through the lens of her own content, using the very tools she employed to build her career as a roadmap to destroy it. Every video she posted, every detail she shared, every moment of her life she made public had been weaponized by someone who saw her not as a person, but as an object of fixation. Michael Aaron Pruitt was charged with first-degree murder, stalking, and burglary. Prosecutors built a case around the overwhelming physical and digital evidence, demonstrating clear premeditation and intent. Pruitt's defense attempted to argue diminished capacity, claiming his social isolation and mental health struggles impaired his judgment. The argument found no sympathy with the jury. In March of the following year, Pruitt was convicted on all counts. He was sentenced to life in prison, without the possibility of parole. During the sentencing hearing, Claire's mother, Patricia, addressed the court. She spoke about her daughter's warmth, ambition, and the light she brought to everyone who knew her. She also spoke about the cruel irony that Claire's openness, her genuine desire to connect with people and share her life, had been exploited by someone whose only intent was to harm her. Claire Donovan's case became a watershed moment in conversations about digital safety and the unseen dangers of oversharing on social media. Privacy advocates, law enforcement agencies, and content creators began working together to educate the public about the risks of posting real-time location data, identifiable home features, and daily routine information. TikTok and other platforms updated their safety guidelines, adding warnings about geotagging and posting content that could reveal personal addresses. But for those who knew and loved Claire, no policy change or educational campaign could undo what happened. She had done what so many people do every day, shared her life online, without fully understanding that for every 1,000 genuine followers, there might be one person watching with malicious intent. She had trusted that her content, her joy, and her authenticity would be met with the same energy she put into the world. Instead, she became a cautionary tale, her final videos serving as evidence in a murder trial. The very content she created to inspire and connect had been studied, analyzed, and used by her killer to map his way to her door. She posted her vacation photos, her new house, her fresh start. She shared her dream life with the world, never knowing that someone was turning that dream into a nightmare. Her videos, meant to celebrate new beginnings, instead documented the trail that led to her end. Every frame, every caption, every hashtag became part of the evidence that would eventually convict her killer. But by then, it was far too late. The warning signs were buried in hundreds of comments and messages, invisible until someone was looking for them in hindsight. She posted her life online, hoping to inspire others. She never made it past her first month in her new home. She never knew she was her own last witness.